She is the worst offensive player.
She's not very offensive competent, bro.
Caitlin Clark laughing at Angel Reese's missed layup.
Generational meme.
To lose the game. Here it is. Here's the video. She can rebound everything, but bro.
Angel Reese, possibly the greatest basketball player in the history of America. Oh, wow. Look at those moves. Yeah, that shot is really hard with the hoop wide open.
Who's the best player in the country?
I feel like I'm the best player in the country.
WNBA draft. The Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark.
Reese planted herself inside the paint, throwing her arms out while shouting for her teammate to move aside and leave her enough space to operate. That scene is now spreading rapidly across social media, and it happened at an especially unfortunate time. Moments after insisting on having plenty of room with no defender anywhere near her, Reese received the ball with an open chance at the basket, only to miss the uncontested shot.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, ATL is going to actually win this game, and then we get down to the end of regulation, you guys. And I'm like, okay, Ron Howard, open three. She's going to hit it. No, she does not. Angel, you got it. Put back layup, game winner. No. And then Nas again caught it, put it up. No. I'm just like, oh my God, like, are we serious? How does that happen? And all of you guys, baby, my girl, Angel, all right, back up off her, okay? Like, back up off of Angel. We know that she missed.
The Atlanta Dream ultimately fell to the Indiana Fever in overtime, and once the game ended, many viewers were left wondering about the same thing. If Reese needed so much space just to create an opportunity, the obvious question was what would happen when she actually got the open floor she was asking for?
All for the last shot, game's tied, and Angel Reese has a bunny layup basically by herself, uncontested, and she cannot make that layup. She had 14 rebounds yesterday, 5 of them offensive. I'm not sure how many were off her own misses because I was at camp and got home for the end of regulation and then overtime. But her making that or missing that layup, you just knew. And she looked kind of crestfallen, and she should be because
that moment has now become part of a much bigger conversation about Angel Reese's role inside the Atlanta locker room. Is she truly the outspoken, demanding leader she wants everyone to see, or has her intensity on the court started to overshadow what she delivers when the ball is finally in her hands? After this game, that question is unlikely to disappear anytime soon, especially with fans continuing to debate whether her words are matching her production.
Best player. If your best player for Atlanta could make a layup, I wouldn't have this gleeful smile that I have on my face right now. It's a layup. You're 1 foot away. Make it, please. You have a fast break layup by yourself early in the game. How you shoot fast break layups at 50? Fast break layups by yourself at 50%. I don't know. I can't explain it. But Caitlin Clark, 20.
This is far more than a minor detail hidden somewhere in the box score. It could become one of the biggest storylines from the Fever Dream rivalry this season. And surprisingly, it has little to do with Caitlin Clark's shooting or Indiana's performance. The real issue is whether Angel Reese's teammates have quietly become frustrated with her. Reactions surrounding Atlanta have fueled the perception that the team may be growing tired, not simply because of losses, but because they feel forced to constantly adjust around one player who does not always produce when opportunities come her way. That type of frustration rarely appears overnight. It can grow possession by possession, missed opportunity by missed opportunity, until eventually it becomes impossible to hide when cameras are rolling.
Her energy shifted. I thought when she got some of those easy baskets to go in the paint.
Let's go back to Angel really quickly, though, because she was part of the catalyst that you saw to be able to change things around.
It's been there. Like, sometimes the basket is too open.
I can't believe we had to listen to that garbage the entire halftime, the entire broadcast of the game while she is blowing the easiest first grade 1-inch layups you'd ever see. And Caitlin Clark is out there hitting logo bombs in her face, dropping 26 and 9 for 12 straight games. Instead of saying she's playing at an MVP level, they're out here glazing Angel Reese just like her fans do on social media. Caitlin Clark gets no love, not considered in the MVP conversation, will be the only player in WNBA history to be top 3 in points and number 1 in assists, and they're sitting here glazing Angel Reese. It's all about Olivia Miles and Paige Becker's, which her team's winning. She's breaking.
Here is what may frustrate Atlanta fans the most about the entire sequence. When you watch it closely, the moment almost feels like a setup for criticism. Reese calls for her teammate to clear out, and the teammate does exactly that. Reese then receives the ball with the open space she wanted, but instead of making a composed attempt or finding an easy pass, she sends the ball toward an area where there is no realistic chance for a productive play. There is no teammate positioned underneath for a rebound, and no player cutting in from the weak side. The possession simply ends. For someone who has repeatedly presented herself as a vocal leader and facilitator for Atlanta, moments like this make it harder to support the image she has been trying to establish.
Drills don't work for basketball, but if there's one person on the face of this raggedy planet that needs to do mic and drills until their wrists fall off, it is Angel Reese. I have never seen a human miss that many point-blank layups regularly. Angel Reese, she doesn't just see everybody, oh, she missed a game winner, her palms are sweaty. Nah, she misses regular lays all the time. The little putbacks, the million rebounds is a symptom of her missing point-blank layups. Is she left-handed? Because it's always a right-handed. I promise you, with the same coverages she has to get through, I can score that. I can do that. Father of three, regular nigga. Right? I promise you, I could shoot a higher percentage right there at the back.
Fans usually have no problem with a player being vocal and demanding on the court. What becomes difficult to accept is when a player takes control of a possession, gets the exact situation she called for, and then fails to make the most of it. If that pattern keeps happening, it can gradually affect how teammates view that player during huddles and throughout the game, even if nobody openly addresses it in a press conference. Cameras appeared to capture several moments when teammates exchanged brief looks after another possession broke down. There were no dramatic reactions or obvious confrontations, but players are trained to remain composed. Still, body language can sometimes reveal frustration, and those subtle reactions on the bench seem to tell a story of their own.
I don't know how y'all defend her. The score is 81-81 in the fourth quarter. 6 seconds left.
Atlanta Dream has the chance to win this game.
Then this happens.
5 seconds. Howard launches. Missed it badly. Reese the putback. Won't go. Hillman, no.
Like, I truly do not understand. Angel Reese is a professional basketball player. Why do she miss so many layups? Like, look. Layups is like the second thing that you learn when you first start basketball. The first thing is how to dribble a basketball. Then the coach will bring you down to that block, exactly where she missed that layup, and teach you how to shoot off that square. But I don't think nobody taught her.
Whatsoever.
She lost them that game. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. If she would have hit that layup, game over. Game over. I had nothing to say. That layup was wide open. If y'all don't think that was wide open, that's bullshit. Aaliyah Boston was right behind her.
Then came the sequence that ultimately shaped the entire game. With the score level and the clock winding down in regulation, Atlanta had the kind of opportunity every team hopes to get on the road. The ball reached Reese, who had a completely open look at the basket with no defender close enough to seriously contest the attempt. This was not a desperate shot taken while being surrounded by defenders or falling off balance under pressure. It was a clean opportunity in a crucial moment, with the result potentially influencing the entire storyline of the night. Reese missed the shot. The rebound bounced back into play, and teammates Ryan Howard and Naz Hillman rushed to get another attempt before the final horn, but neither could convert. Regulation ended tied, leaving Atlanta to watch a huge late-game opportunity slip away.
I'm on a 17-4 run right now. You started that with a 7-0 run. How did you kind of get things going for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing like in the beginning, but it's a game of runs. You got to put that in your back pocket just because you know you have teammates that have your back.
Pushed under the hoop just enough to not have a great angle. To OT we go.
The frustration on Reese's face afterwards seemed to communicate more than words ever could. She paused for a moment, appearing to replay the missed opportunity in her mind and visibly unhappy with the result. Missing a shot that important in front of a packed crowd, especially with so much attention surrounding the rivalry, is difficult to simply move past. But showing frustration afterward could not change what had already happened. More importantly, it could not erase the overtime that followed, when Indiana gradually created separation and eventually closed out the game.
Her missing this shot for the game, it's not necessarily that she missed it, it's the reaction to it. After she missed, this Caitlin Clark walking past laughing, bro. And y'all know how these two fan bases are, so they are loving this picture right here. The main reason it bothers me too is because it makes it so easy to overlook everything else that she actually does on the court. Like defensively and obviously rebounding wise, bro, she's incredible. I just need her to fix this so they have something else that...
Social media erupted almost immediately after the final buzzer. While Reese appeared to be processing the missed opportunity, cameras showed Caitlin Clark walking toward the Fever bench with a noticeable smile. Some viewers interpreted the expression as Clark laughing at the situation, although there is no way to know with certainty what she was actually reacting to in that moment. Still, the timing created a powerful visual for fans. For weeks, the matchup had been promoted as another chapter in the Clark-Reese rivalry, and Atlanta had already defeated Indiana earlier in the season. But in the biggest moment of this game, Clark appeared composed while Reese was visibly frustrated after the missed opportunity. That contrast quickly transformed an ordinary missed shot into a viral storyline. It was not simply about Reese failing to convert. It was the combination of the miss, Clark's reaction, and the cameras capturing both moments almost simultaneously that sent the internet into overdrive.
Angel? Yeah, she's not good at basketball. Like, I'm tired. Look, we've said this in the past. I'm tired of it. I can't lie anymore. Like, I watched her miss 8 layups. She could be averaging like 25, 26 if she could make a layup. And the way she lays it up, it's like she's just learning how to, like, you know, when toddlers finally learn how to walk, they fall a little bit. It's like she just learned how to do layups once she got to the WNBA. It makes no sense to me. Like, she could be so much better. And for someone who has her own podcast, she talks her stuff, you would think she's the MVP. You would think she's that girl over in Vegas. But no, she's closer to AZ Fudd than she is to homegirl in Vegas. So, yeah, there's that. She's been an inefficient player. I feel like we hype her up because she's grabbing rebounds, but...
This is where the real disconnect begins to become noticeable. On the surface, Reese recorded her 23rd double-double of the season, putting her within reach of a WNBA record that has been discussed throughout the year. Her 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists certainly look impressive at first glance, and much of the post-game coverage focused on those numbers as evidence of her consistency and toughness. But looking beyond the basic statistics tells a different story. Reese finished just 5 for 16 from the field and struggled badly early, missing her first 6 attempts before halftime. More importantly, she failed to score during the entire fourth quarter, the very stretch when Atlanta needed its inside scorer to make an impact. Then, on 2 of the game's biggest possessions, she could not convert either opportunity. That is the difference between an impressive box score line and making winning plays when the pressure is at its highest. A double-double may look great on a graphic, but it becomes less meaningful when a player goes scoreless in the fourth and cannot capitalize on a crucial chance to win the game.
And it just didn't go down, and then we had to try to compete in overtime. I thought players try to execute the game plan really well, especially defensively. It's just disappointing to come up short. We just had to move on to the next play. I mean, we did what we didn't run there was supposed to be one screen in there, and we kind of forgot the screen. But then Rye, took the shot, and we told those two to, really crash the boards and give us a second chance. They both did exactly what we asked for them. And then we got 2 looks, right at the end of the game that, could have won it for us, but, they rolled out. Just kind of.
Carl Smesko approached his post-game press conference carefully, maintaining the diplomatic tone coaches usually adopt after a painful loss. However, beneath those measured answers, there appeared to be clear frustration. Reporters repeatedly brought up Atlanta's final possession, and Smesko seemed to choose his words cautiously each time, as though he wanted to avoid saying more than he should. He also returned to the final minute several times, even after the discussion had shifted to other topics. When a coach repeatedly revisits the same closing sequence without being pushed back to it, it can suggest that the moment is still weighing heavily on him.
It happens like we know any other time like Angel will make the shot. I mean, she knows she'll make the shot, but in that moment, you just got to encourage your teammates. Like, no one person lost us the game. It's a team effort. And just like she's with us when we're struggling, we do the same thing for Angel. I mean, it's a sisterhood. Like, we really love each other, support each other. So, I mean, I'll put everything on the line that the next time she gets a shot like that, she'll make it 100%. It's just this time she came up a little short, but I mean, I have all the faith in the world in Angel that she's going to.
Teammates responded exactly as you would expect after a difficult loss. Alicia Gray, who finished with a career-high 32 points despite Atlanta falling short, spoke to reporters and publicly stood behind Reese. She emphasized that one player should not be blamed and that the result came down to the team's performance as a whole. That is the professional, locker-room-friendly response you would expect from a teammate trying to maintain unity after a heartbreaking defeat. But there was something notable in what she did not say. Gray never specifically argued that Reese's miss was irrelevant to the outcome, nor did she claim that the late-game opportunity had nothing to do with the loss. Instead, her comments protected her teammate without changing what everyone had just stepping back from this one game. The larger issue becomes easier to see. Reese has been open about wanting to establish herself as a vocal leader for Atlanta, someone who communicates constantly, directs teammates, and demands accountability during games. There is nothing inherently wrong with that approach, because many successful players are outspoken and demanding when the pressure rises. The concern comes when that intensity is not consistently matched by production. Reese has acknowledged having difficult stretches herself, including admitting at halftime of this game that she had gotten off to a poor start and needed to make adjustments. That has led some fans and observers to question the contrast between how much space she demands on the floor and what happens when that space is actually given to her. Over a long season, that kind of disconnect can potentially affect trust within a team. Being demanding is easier to justify when the results consistently support it. It becomes more complicated when the same level of intensity is followed by missed opportunities, especially during possessions that can determine the outcome. Atlanta had already handled Indiana comfortably in their earlier matchup, with Reese contributing effectively in that victory. But with the rivalry spotlight even brighter this time, she struggled when the biggest moments arrived. Clark, meanwhile, was able to deliver when it mattered. It missed on the court.
I think we have a lot of players playing well, and I think we feel pretty good about the direction of the team. Now, the road trips are tough, and I mean, the first thing we got to do is, go to Vegas and be ready for them. But I feel good about our team. We'll have to take a day tomorrow and really kind of rest up because obviously a lot of people played some really heavy minutes. So tomorrow is probably just a film session. And then we're going to have to get ready to give the same kind of effort if we're going to beat Vegas as we gave for.
Stepping back from this one game, the larger issue becomes easier to see. Reese has been open about wanting to establish herself as a vocal leader for Atlanta, someone who communicates constantly, directs teammates, and demands accountability during games. There is nothing inherently wrong with that approach, because many successful players are outspoken and demanding when the pressure rises. The concern comes when that intensity is not consistently matched by production. Reese has acknowledged having difficult stretches herself, including admitting at halftime of this game that she had gotten off to a poor start and needed to make adjustments. That has led some fans and observers to question the contrast between how much space she demands on the floor and what happens when that space is actually given to her. Over a long season, that kind of disconnect can potentially affect trust within a team. Being demanding is easier to justify when the results consistently support it. It becomes more complicated when the same level of intensity is followed by missed opportunities, especially during possessions that can determine the outcome. Atlanta had already handled Indiana comfortably in their earlier matchup, with Reese contributing effectively in that victory. But with the rivalry spotlight even brighter this time, she struggled when the biggest moments arrived. Clark, meanwhile, was able to deliver when it mattered.
As far as advice, is that for whatever reason in the WNBA, like women's basketball, a lot of their layups, they don't finish like wide, like outside their body. Everything is like up in the cylinder. You know, a lot of people look down on like the mic and drill, like basic stuff like that. I feel like that's all Angel Reese is missing, just a little bit of touch. And once she gets that, then she's really gonna be putting up wild numbers. Cause she's getting to the basket. If you know what I'm saying? If you put 20 points within 15 rebounds, it's low-key the best.
None of this suggests that Angel Reese is finished as a player, nor does it erase the impressive rebounding numbers and double-doubles she has accumulated throughout the season. Her overall performance still places her among the league's strongest rebounders, and one difficult overtime defeat cannot erase months of productive work. However, perceptions inside a locker room can change quickly when a highly visible moment happens in front of a national audience. Losses carrying this much attention can accelerate that process. If teammates begin to feel they are repeatedly giving up space or opportunities for a player who does not consistently make the most of those sacrifices in crucial moments, frustration can gradually develop behind closed doors before eventually becoming visible publicly. Atlanta's coaching staff may now have to seriously evaluate how late-game possessions are handled for the remainder of the season and potentially beyond. After such a high-profile loss, that decision becomes even more complicated for Carl Smesko and his staff. Meanwhile, the rivalry between Atlanta, Indiana, and the ongoing Clark Reese storyline is unlikely to disappear. With both teams continuing to meet and fans analyzing every interaction, the next matchup will receive even more attention. Everyone will be watching to see whether Reese responds by improving and making the biggest moments count, or whether the same concerns surface again on an even larger stage.